Hi.
Why are you here today? What brings you here to the Royal Court of Justice?
So I'm here to protest the persecution of Julian Assange. I think we need as many people out here to make enough noise for the state to see that, Julian Assange should not be persecuted. He should be free. We're hoping that, with as many people out here, the state will see that there's a lot of interest in this case, and we know why that is the case, because I think his persecution is a way to intimidate journalists into not reporting about the crimes of the government, be they war crimes or corruption. And of course, it's not just the British state or the American state as is often perceived. It's also, governments that are enemy states to this, such as Russia, Iran, etc.
And what is your feeling, having heard the reports there halfway through the day, when we heard Kristen talking about what was happening in the courtroom and everything? Does that give you much confidence about whether this has been taken seriously and gives us confidence for a good outcome tomorrow?
I mean, I've heard that. I've heard actually within the courtroom people can hear okay, but for the journalists, some of them that have been inside in I think it's the annex room or the other room, they can barely hear. And this has happened previously as well. I think this time around they've let more people into the court, which is good, but overall, I mean, there's been a lot of issues, such as they made this new rule recently where only people from England and Wales can have access. So, for instance, one journalist in the US, Kevin Gustola, who has done excellent work covering the case, he's wrote a book on the story of Julian Assange, and he was denied access, which is awful. Bizarre, I mean, it's just that should not be allowed. This is of public interest. So why are they being arbitrary like that, where they're deciding who can get in and who can report on it?
Do you have a feeling on which way it's going to go tomorrow, what the outcome's going to be?
Well, I would be surprised if we got a verdict tomorrow. I don't think that will be the case. It might be a matter of, with the previous courts, where I think there was an appeal that we were supposed to get a judgment for 2 weeks after, and it took about 8 or 9 months. So I think we might have something like that occur again, because I would be very surprised that if extradition happened during an election year in the US, I wouldn't expect that. But
so that this is going to drag on for an unknown amount of time yet before we even know what the next step could be.
Absolutely. I mean, one other thing is we learned from the Stratfor emails that they wanted to move Julian around courts for 25 years as the punishment. What's known as the process is exactly, and that would be his punishment. So that could very likely happen. It is supposed to move to the European Court of Human Rights, but it seems as though the US wants to bypass that this time around. I think that violates many laws, but the whole case also does.
So if that's going to be the state of play, then which I agree with you, I think is the most likely the outcome. It's just going to drag on and on and on, and just basically try and break the man down as much as they can, and that the process is the punishment.
Absolutely, yeah.
So then, where does that leave us? What can we do? I
mean, we still have to keep making as much noise about this, putting pressure onto the system to say no to this. This will set a precedent for other journalists. I think the whole case in itself has already intimidated some journalists with their work, because Julian is the first and will not be the last. He absolutely will not.
So we've got to keep our energy up and keep fighting, because
absolutely
the fight is far from over then. Regardless of what happens within those 4 walls in the next 2 days,
Absolutely. I mean, after these court dates, we still have to raise awareness
Right.
as much as we can until Julian is free. He should be free. He should be, he commit no crime. He was a publisher. He published documents. He didn't write those. The government wrote those,
Yeah.
So, and journalism is not a crime. We apparently live in the free world. So the state should show us that it is a free country.
Yeah.
And we should be able to report on any news within reason. The news that WikiLeaks published was in the public interest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's an essential part of the mechanics of a democracy.
Yeah.
Without a free press, we essentially don't live in a democracy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it is very democratic with the way that things have been insofar as the persecution of Julian.
Well, Naila, thank you so much for being
Thank
here to talk
you.
with you. Thank
Okay.
you for